Well, even though I live in one of the most mild climates in all of Canada, I live on Vancouver Island off the west coast, I still have this love-hate relationship with winter. Here, winter means rain, and rain can mess up so many potentially amazing adventures just because, well, it's rain, and who wants to go out and adventure when it's pouring day after day after day? But on the other hand, it opens up some possibilities. The possibilities of these foggy views like I've got this morning. This is amazing. Check this out. Well, if we haven't met yet, welcome to the channel. My name's Dan King, and I put out episodes every week that are travel and destination based, mostly here on the west coast of Vancouver Island, but occasionally I get off across the country to other places as well. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and jump in. This place today is called Little Mountain. It's a place that's loved by locals where I live. And if you're not a local, you probably would never know it's here unless you find it on social media. Something like Instagram, for example. Instagram is a great place to find unique travel destinations that otherwise you'd never know even existed. I want to give you today my top 3 tips on using Instagram to find great travel locations, to research them, and to find out more about them through locals. Now, I got to tell you as well that not everybody is really super stoked on Instagram showing off these local secret locations, but we'll get into that a little bit as well, and I'll explain to you why. For now, let's jump into the tips. We've had a change in locations, and it's exactly because of that love-hate relationship I have with the rain. It came down, I came home, so we could continue this top 3 tips for using Instagram for finding great places when you travel. And tip number 1 is this: use the bookmark icon when you're scrolling through photos on your phone on the bottom right hand of every picture. Click on that and it'll open up another tab underneath the photo that says Save to Collections. When you click on that button, it'll show you the library of collections that you have, or you can add a new one with a little plus icon in the top right hand corner, and there you can store all your favorite photos, and specifically ones that you want to go to when you get around to being at those locations. And so you can see I have 2 collections going right now. One is just general posts that I like, and the other one is spots to go. And what I've got here is a collection of different locations that I'd love to go through. Let's quickly scroll through them. The first one's in Saskatoon. It's a cafe that looks kind of cool, and it's a place I'm hoping to go next time I'm there. From there, we go on to Webster's Falls. It's in British Columbia, and I just gotta check it out when I get the chance. This is a train wreck close to where I live, and again, if I click on the location tab, it'll show me other pictures from that area, and if I click on the map, it'll show me exactly where that train wreck is. Oh, it's near Whistler in British Columbia. So that tells me if I'm ever up in the Whistler area, that's a place I'm gonna want to check out. So that's my spots to go collections on Instagram, and that's my first tip. Keep record of where you want to go so you can go back to it and see the spots that caught your eye months and maybe even years ago. So tip number 2, I've already hinted at a little bit, and that's to do research using Instagram. And there's 2 ways that I find that really are helpful to me as I want to do the research. First of all, it's to click on the little geotag under the name of the photographer who took the photo that you like of that spot that's caught your eye. And when you hit that geotag link, it's going to take you to a map of the location that you're looking for, and also recent photos from that place. It allows you to scroll through the recent photos, the top photos, and find people who have also been there. It'll allow you to figure out exactly where, using the map, this place is, other locations or other kind of feature spots at that location that you didn't even know were there. As an example, when we went to Joshua Tree National Park and I click on the geotag there, it's going to give me the top and the most recent photos. Then I can scroll down and see if there's any places that catch my eye. There's one over here on the left where there's somebody who's rock climbing. And I remember actually when we were at Joshua Tree National Park, seeing the rock climbing area. If I was somebody who liked rock climbing, this would have caught my attention, and it's definitely a place that I would go check out and bring my rock climbing gear. So right off the bat, I've not only found the location I like, but after a little bit of research and scrolling through pictures, I found out another activity I can do when I'm there. Let's go back to the gallery again and continue scrolling down. This is the Skull Rock, and so that's something I want to make a note of and do a little bit more research around where that exactly is. And so you can see as you go down the research rabbit hole, you can find other possibilities for each of these spots, which is really kind of cool. It's a great way to use Instagram just to dig a little deeper about the locations that have caught your eye. So the third tip I have for using Instagram to find great travel destinations that you may not have discovered otherwise is to use direct messenger within the app. If you find a photo of a place you want to go, just click on the name of the photographer and send them a direct message asking them questions. Introduce yourself, ask them for tips and hints, and maybe if there's anything they experienced that they'd recommend you checking out while you're there. This happened to me just a few days ago actually. I posted a picture of a place called San Joseph's Bay on North Vancouver Island near where I live on one of the Instagram accounts that I manage, and somebody shot me a note right away and said, "Hey, have you recently been there? Can you give me some tips about traveling there? It's a dirt road," and they wanted to know about whether their car could travel on that road or not. They wanted to know about weather conditions this time of year up there and what they should pack. They wanted to know if there were any extra places they should check out that maybe they'd not heard about so far that I could recommend. And so they did exactly what I'm suggesting to you to do, to use that direct message to reach out to people who have already been where you want to go and find out more about the location. So those are three really simple tips that I want to suggest to you that make all the difference when I'm scouting out locations to go, when I'm researching those locations that I've found, and when I want to find kind of insider tips about those spots that I might otherwise not know. And now can I throw it out to you? Do you have any hints or tips that you'd like me to add to this list? Just put them in the comments below. Share them with everybody else. Let me know if you like these tips, if there's some challenges you have with some of these tips. I want to hear all about your thoughts. Finally, I mentioned to you that some people don't like the idea of sharing secret local spots on Instagram or other social media. And the reality is so many places right now are overrun by visitors. There's a few times in social media, including on this YouTube channel, that I've gone to different places but specifically not put where they are. If people want to dig in and they want to find out where these places are, great. But over visiting will wreck these locations. People bring in garbage and don't take it out. Please take out the garbage you take into places. Leave it better than you found it. You could argue that places like Iceland have experienced the same thing, where they've just been overrun with tourists trying to go to different spots, and it's not healthy for nature. Sometimes we got to keep things quiet. So respect the places you go, especially if they're secret local places you've learned about on Instagram. Anyway, those are some tips, those are some tricks, those are some recommendations from me to you for using Instagram to find great travel spots. And now it's your turn. Get off the couch, get outside, and explore creation and find new spots yourself rather than just living vicariously through YouTube here or Instagram. Get outside. Love hanging out with you guys. And until we talk next week, when I hope it's not raining and I can take you on another adventure. Have a great one. Peace.